Sinner's commentary and spoiler incoming. So I've seen so much talked about, but there's a specific piece that I haven't seen discussed much on here, and that is Stack and Mary's time in Arkansas. Now, I might be jumping out on a limb. We can discuss it in the comments, but I wholeheartedly believe that, well, it is said that Stack was pimping in Arkansas. And I think Mary was his bottom B while he was out there. Now, let me explain. What sets this up is that obviously they were not making money. The people who were sharecropping were getting paid in wooden money. And so when they go into the back room, it's Smoke, Annie, and Stack, and they're discussing how, Smoke's upset because he's like, this isn't real money. We can't use this. Stack and Annie are trying to explain that you have to make them feel good, right? And they'll want to come back and it'll work out. Smoke asked Stack something very specific. He says, when you were selling ass in Arkansas, did you ever let a John pay with a promissory note? And Stack replies with his slick mouth as he does, no, but I never sold ass in Mississippi. I made mental note of that. I was like, nah, Stack was out in Arkansas pimping in Little Rock. Later on, when he goes and talks to Mary, they're out on the dance floor. She's basically like, you left. Why did you leave? You haven't explained yourself. Like, I really want to know the truth. He tells her he's going to get one of the girls in the juke joint to drag her out of there. She's like, you taught me how to fight. I could be every bitch up in here. Whoa. He also says, right after that, he says, I also taught you how to walk away when the money dries up. And I was like, ding, 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 ding. Like, connections were being made. At the time, I'm thinking, wait, he was out selling ass in Arkansas. She was with him in Arkansas. I feel like that's an inference there. I could be reaching, but it just made sense to me. We don't know much about the guys, the twins, 7 years when they're gone. We know that they were in Chicago, they went to the war. We know at least Stack was in Arkansas. But like, we have to just kind of like make these own stories up in our head. And that story, I set myself on fire. I was like, listen, this is it. Like, this is what was happening. They were in Arkansas. He was selling ass. He was pimping. She was probably helping him in some way, shape, or form. If not, doing stuff herself. And then when the money dried up, I think that he felt like staying in Arkansas was the best place for her. So he set her up with a rich white man. Now, we know Stack be lying. We know Stack be lying because he lies about little stuff that I think is funny, right? Like the guitar. But I really think he sold her a dream. He was like, you stay here, you be with this rich white man, learn what we need to learn, squirrel away what you can squirrel away. I'll come back and we'll take what we can from this rich white man and then we'll ride off somewhere. Obviously, that was not his intent. He wanted to set her up to pass and, live a comfortable life, right? And she wasn't having that. But I just truly think that Stack was pimping and Mary was helping him in Little Rock. Now, whether or not that's true, but it's I feel like I'm onto something. And I haven't seen that discussed. I mean, maybe somebody made a video about it or a tweet or a post or whatever. It's so many different platforms, right? But that's a puzzle piece right there. What Ryan Coogler is going to do with this universe in the future, who knows, right? This could be a standalone film and live in its own right for on, and I would be just happy. But if he ever does do something else, them 7 years, I want to know. I got questions. There's a story there. So we'll see what happens.